Meteorology and Observational Network Upgradations. Is a light member of Indian Meteorological Society, Mumbai. The recipient of Best RMC Award and MOAS Award and few more. In addition to all this work, is also involved in writing scientific papers in national and international journals. Is give regular weather talks on radio, TV channels, media, and school and colleges. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So I request sir to start the session, Monsoon 2020 and Observational Network of IMD. Over to you, sir.
Sundar, please extend warm welcome to Oslikar sir on behalf of St. John Institute as well as on my personal behalf. Sir, welcome you for taking out and thank you for taking out your valuable time and addressing on this particular very interesting subjects, which is very recent, and hope it will be very informative and we're going to enjoy this session. Thank you, and once again welcome you, sir.
So I thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to connect with all of you. Personally, I am thankful to Dr. Pandrinath also, because I know him for last couple of years. And also, I was in touch with Subhashini Madam also. So, thanks a lot. I think, I hope I'm audible and have some, make some small presentation here. And if there are any questions or if there are any queries, either from the participants, students, they can very well ask at the end of the session. You can note down some questions, or maybe Madam, sir, they can note down and they can ask those if there are any queries or if there are any. So let me start. Thank you very much, Gopal sir. So can we start the presentation? Yeah. So the topic is, the monsoon 2020. Met department generally has a bad habit of putting a lot of abbreviations in their slides. I think that people know it. I think it because it becomes a habit. So LRF stands for a long range forecast. Any such mistakes, kindly excuse me. So long range forecast, that is Dirghakalin Purvanuman Pausache. And what network we have, I'm going to give some, a feel of it. Okay, can we go to the next, please? So in the month of April, the Meteorological Department gave its first stage forecast for the how the monsoon would be in 2020. So that is called a seasonal forecast, and it is the first stage forecast. That is, what is the importance of that? Of course, we all know that, once we know certain numbers, definitely, the management of the things becomes very easy. Basically, this long range forecast is for the planning of the entire country, for the planners, for the policy makers, and to a good extent to the farmers and other industries also. And of course, the general public is also very much interested in how would be the monsoon in the coming year. So the first prediction in the month of April said that the monsoon will be normal. So by normal is the percentage is 96 to 104%. You will realize that when we say monsoon is normal, look at the percentage we are expecting from monsoon performance. It is 96 to 104%. So it's like, nowadays, the marks in the 12th standard, somebody who gets 96 and above is nowadays recognized as normal, and somebody who gets less than 94 or 90, etc., I think it is not considered as normal in the current competition. So monsoon is also almost like that. The figures are very high or normal. Entire country's rainfall, when you see it is, the average rainfall, which is calculated for last 40, 50 years, it is 80 centimeter of the rainfall. So that we call it as long period average. Can we go to the next, please? So the model what we use here is, the statistical ensembled forecasting system model. So there are certain parameters what we are using in that. So it's a 5-parameter model, which is, written in the blue font. And, most of the parameters are, the far away parameters from the country. So one of the famous parameter is the fifth one, the equatorial Pacific warm water. Many times, we hear about the El Nino and all that. So that particular fifth parameter is talking about the El Nino. And then, of course, most of the things are, related to the sea, because monsoon comes from the sea. Like, you have the temperature gradient of North Atlantic and North Pacific. Then you have the equatorial South Indian Ocean, sea surface temperature. And then the East Asia mean sea level pressure, and of course the European land surface temperature also. And then there are different periods for that. Now let's not much bother about it. Just remember, the monsoon depends upon, the Indian monsoon depends upon, the far off things. And we call them as a tele things. बहुत दूर की चीजें जो है उसको control करती है. And so what is the forecast? Whenever we give forecast, so we give in all the categories. These are all probability forecasts. Nowadays people want probability forecast, as we know. So different categories are there. Like we have deficient category. What is the chance that the monsoon would be negative? Sorry, deficient. Monsoon would be below normal, normal, above normal, and excess also. So when you look at the different categories, look at the third column in that is the forecast probability. So normal and above normal, when you add, it's almost more than 62%. So that's what, that is how, we say that the maximum probability that the monsoon would be normal or slightly above normal also. So it almost comes out to be 61%. So 62%. So that is how, and of course there is a chance of excess also, but excess means 110% of the country's entire rainfall for June to September. Can we go to the next, please? So there is, it is not just one model. There are different models which meteorological department is using. So there is another model called as Monsoon Mission Coupled Forecasting System, MFCFS. Now this also indicates that there is a very high probability, almost 70% of the probability that the monsoon would be either normal to excess. So this also confirms that what would be the Indian summer monsoon for the entire season. This also says that it would be normal to excess, above normal to excess. In fact, it is showing. Yeah. Can we go to the next, please? If I'm not audible, please let me know. So we all know that the monsoon depends upon certain parameters. For that, now the things are, so much in general talk that, even your neighbor also will tell you that what is the El Nino position on, what is the La Nina position. The El Nino is something called warming of equatorial Pacific oceans, So that actually there is some relation between El Nino and the Indian summer monsoon also. But fortunately, this time the El Nino is neutral. Currently, it is warm neutral, and the models are indicating, the global models are indicating that as the season progresses, it will become neutral. From warm neutral, it will become neutral. So this is not going to have any negative impact on our Indian monsoon. And then there are other conditions, there are other models are also indicating, some of the models are indicating that there is a likelihood of development of weak La Nina. So La Nina is something, cooling of Pacific water. So that has a positive impact on Indian summer monsoon. So even if La Nina develops, a weak La Nina, it is going to help the Indian summer monsoon as the monsoon progresses. And of course, Indian Ocean Dipole, currently it is neutral. So all these parameters which are actually controlling our Indian summer monsoon and which can have some impact are, in favorable condition as far as the today's conditions, today's situation is there, and what the forecast is saying that it is going to continue or improve as the monsoon progresses. Can we go to the next, please? Yeah, thank you. So we were talking about the two models. One was statistical ensemble and then the monsoon mission. There is something another, a platform that is called as SASCOF, that is South Asian Climate Outlook Forum. That is for the South Asian countries, what we see on the map here. So because monsoon doesn't affect only India, but it affects the entire South Asia. So a South Asia, how the monsoon would be, that also picture is evaluated, that also, analysis is being done. And the analysis is, if you see, indicating that most of the country, as far as India is concerned, is either gray in color or dark gray in color. That indicates, if you see the legend below, that it will show that, the monsoon is expected to be normal throughout the country with slightly excess rainfall in southern peninsula and northwest of Rajasthan. So all the three models, that is monsoon mission, statistical ensemble, and the SASCOF outlook, all the three are indicating that the monsoon 2020 either would be normal or it will be more better than that. Can we go to the next, please? So this year, India Meteorological Department has come out with the revised monsoon onset dates. Now this doesn't happen every year. Let me tell you, if you see the earlier onset dates, they were from 1900 to 1940. That data was there. Now recently we have taken the data of onset over the country from 1961 to 2019. And then we found that, there is some change as far as the onset date is concerned, which we were using till last year. So if you see here, we have red lines and we have the gray lines. So the red lines are the old one and the gray lines are, the new lines. Interestingly, most of the dates of new lines are matching as far as the southern peninsula is concerned, because monsoon onset at Kerala, over Kerala, is on 1st June. Both the lines are indicating it is 1st June. As the monsoon progresses northward, so in that case, what happens, you will find that the difference is going on increasing. The last line, very interesting line, the earlier, the normal onset date for Rajasthan was, or maybe, the country's total monsoon arrival, we used to say by it will be 15th July, red line. You can see here that red line is 15th July. Now the new date for the entire coverage of the monsoon over the country is 8th July. It means what? The monsoon is coming over the country, over the entire country, rather I should say, almost 7 to 8 days in advance. Now this is a good news that, people will get, these are the normal dates, of course. These are not the dates for this year. These are the normal dates. It indicates that for last couple of years or last several years, the monsoon has been coming or covering the country as a whole much earlier than the normal date. So it's a good sign for the farmer and, the water management and so many other things. Can we go to the next, please? This slide is very interesting. So this is called as, this as we revise, the coming dates, we have revised the withdrawal dates also. Then we found something very interesting that, I'll come to the next slide. At that time, the picture will be very clear. I can say here that as the monsoon stayed, 1 week early while coming, or 8 to 10 days early while going also, it is giving you a longer stay over the country. It means what? The country is getting, the number of days of monsoon are increasing. I'll just go to the next, then it will become more clear to you. Please. Okay. So these are the comparison table which are made for some of the stations in Mumbai, sorry, in Maharashtra. I would request you to see the withdrawal dates, because for Maharashtra, the onset dates are, there is not much change, just 1 or 2 days here and there. But if you see the withdrawal dates, for example, if you see Mumbai, it is 8th October, new date. The old date was 29th September. It means, it is likely that monsoon is going to stay for more than 8 to 9 days. And if you compare Pune, earlier it was 6th October, now it is 11th October. Satara, it is 30th September, existing date. The new date is 9th October. So you have, a difference of around 8 to 10 days additional. So you are getting benefit for the entire country of 1 week while coming, or more than 1 week. And while going, again, it is staying for little longer period than expected. And this is a good sign. Again, you will have more better, little longer season of monsoon. It will help not only the Kharif crops, but it will help the Rabi crops also. The difference between the Kharif and Rabi, I'm sure some of my students must have learned in their school days. But Kharif means the crop which you take during monsoon, and Rabi means you take after the monsoon season, that is winter and all that, what crops you take, Rabi crops matter. Can you go to the next, please? So last year, 2019, when India Meteorological Department gave the prediction that the monsoon over the entire country would be normal. And I remember in the month of June, there was almost no rain over Maharashtra. When monsoon came over Kerala, Vayu cyclone developed in the Arabian Sea. And thereafter, the monsoon got delayed into 2019, and in June, almost there was no rain. It almost picked up at the end of the June. And people were slightly worried whether Met Department ने तो बोला है normal होने वाला है, लेकिन क्या ये होगा या whether this will be a deficient year, because 2018 and 17 were not good monsoon years. So, but then certain things happened. Good systems developed. Look at the picture in July, August, and September. So you may not be aware of the color code here, but let me tell you, the red means it is a deficient rainfall. Blue and dark blue means it is normal, it is excess and large excess. Green is normal. Let me repeat, green is normal, light blue is excess, dark blue is large excess. Last year, Pune recorded large excess, maximum, highest rainfall percentage wise was recorded in Pune. We must have seen it. It got flooded in September, October, and many other months. There was a big flood, if you all remember, in Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara in the month of Marathwada in our particular state, is a water stressed area. So sometimes, or some of the monsoon, the Marathwada region remains, slightly below normal. But if you see the end of the September month, you will see that entire Maharashtra is, blue in color. So that indicates that blue or green, it indicates that the monsoon was good in 2019. Can we go to the next? This was the total rainfall over the Maharashtra, and it indicates that, the rainfall 32% excess than the normal. 32% excess than the normal for the entire country, with few pockets like Solapur, Beed, all those places. This is little less rainfall. But then even this got covered up in the month of October. When we go to the next, please. In these slides, when they were converted in PDF, I think something happened to them. So in the month of October, there was a cyclone, a super cyclone, and that, because of that, the entire Maharashtra got very good rainfall. Rather, I should say it was a point to worry for the farmers that, the rainfall was too much to handle as far as the standing crops were concerned. Can we go to the next? So this presentation, as I said, that was prepared slightly a little early. So recently IMD gave it, the second stage of long range forecast. What would be the country's total outlook? So we have said that, the total rainfall in the country would be, last time we said in the month of April, we said that it will be 100%. This time we have said that the monsoon will be 102% over the country. 102% is normal rainfall. And if you, in addition to this, the department has also given the 4 geographical region distribution also. That indicates that, central India, where you have Maharashtra and Gujarat, Goa, all those places, central India, the rainfall is expected to be 103%. Northwest India, again 107%. Northeast, it is slightly less, 96%. And Southern Peninsula, again, it is more than 100%. So if you see the overall distribution of the rainfall, what is the second stage prediction is talking about for the country? It says that the distribution of the rainfall over the country, because distribution is also very important. एक ही जगह पे बरसात गिर के वो फायदा नहीं है. We require, a well-distributed rainfall so that, everyone is getting benefited. So that rainfall, distribution of the rainfall is looking good, and that is what, the models are indicating. Can we go to the next, please? Yeah. So this was a GIF file because you converted to PDF. So I don't know whether I sent you PDF or not, but this indicates basically how the system will form. So it's very difficult because it is not a, it's not an animation available here. So generally, you can see that green color, which is near the Kerala, it is indicating that, there is some rainfall going on 21 May. The date is written on 21 May. This basically is given. You can see, if you see our website, Delhi website, then you'll find that there's a link called as Extended Range Forecast. So this Extended Range Forecast is talking about what would be the rainfall scenario or weather scenario for next 4 weeks. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So here we are. So this slide particular is indicating that the rainfall is of 4 weeks, and currently, as we all know, that we are in the week number 2. This is generated every Thursday, and week 2 is 29th May to 4th June. If you see here, the 29th May to 4th June is indicating a good rainfall over the coast of Kerala, near the Kerala. So maybe with the pointer you can show to the students here that, the near the coast of Kerala, the rainfall. I slide in a week 2, I'm talking of week 2. Okay. So near Kerala, we have got, dark green patch. So it has been indication that, there is going to be good rainfall for that particular week. And then if you see the third week, that is 5th June to 11th June, we see the monsoon is progressing on the west coast. And of course, on the 4th week, both East Coast as well as West Coast, and most of the part of the country, except northwest of India, the map is looking green in color, indicating that the monsoon is, onset is favorable. To tell you, currently, position of the onset of monsoon, till yesterday, the monsoon came up to, on West Coast, it came up to Karwar. So it is the last station between Goa and Karnataka, and we have said that the conditions are favorable for further northward movement of the monsoon in next 2 to 3 days. So this particular product is very much useful for the farmer, because as I told in the beginning, the long range forecast is for the overall understanding what would be the scenario, whether any drought management would be required, whether any extra irrigation, artificial irrigation will be required, what would be the scenario, what would be the agriculture market, what would be the the farmer situation, what would be the country's economy. For all that things, the long range forecast is good. But for farmer, I think they should see this forecast, which is 4-week forecast. And in this 4-week forecast, they should see the week 1 and week 2 forecast, because they can do certain planning of their farm related things depending upon the forecast which is given for week 1 and week 2. Week 3 and week 4, they can have a look at it, but for planning purpose, they can always see week 1 and 2. Can we go to the next, please? So I'll skip this slide. Can we just go to the next? Can we go to the next? One more slide. Next, please. Yeah, thank you. So, I want just go back one more slide. Back, please. Yeah, thank you. So somebody asked me once, in one of the interview, that what are the sectors in which IMD is giving, the services. So while I was listing the domains in which the IMD is giving services, and I thought, I will ask the counter question to my friend, and I asked, okay, sir, you tell me what are the areas in which IMD is not giving services, because that is easy to answer than, otherwise. So to tell you very honestly, I think there are no domains or there are no industries where IMD or Met Department or meteorological services are not required. You name anything, nowadays you require. And there are many new sectors which are coming, which require a lot of weather-related services also. Some of the services I have mentioned here, and definitely this is just a small list. You take any service related to the health, related to tourism, and anything you take, I think you require a lot of weather input. And some of the sectors like agriculture, then urban development, they are the accelerated efforts are made to improve upon it. Because country's economy is agriculture, so we need to improve the agriculture services as fast as possible. So then aviation is there. General public, they also require weather data, weather advisories, weather alerts, so on and so forth. Can we go to the next, please? So while all the services are being handled, while all the forecast weather updates are being generated, I'm sure you will appreciate that, अगर आपको खाना बनाना है, बहुत अच्छा अगर खाना बनाना है, then you require lot of raw things. अच्छी सब्जी होनी चाहिए, अच्छे मसाले होने चाहिए, और obviously बनाने वाला भी अच्छा होना चाहिए. So these are the ingredients. Like if you want a good forecast, then the first thing you require is a good data. Okay, of course, good forecaster is always there, but if a good forecaster doesn't get the good data, then his forecast will not have much impact. So that is how the observational network plays a very important role in generating the department's weather forecast and weather update. So that is coming in the core of the entire department's network. And what are the other things which are depending on of the network is research, climatology, operational area, and different users which are there. And we go to the next, yeah. This is very interesting slide. If somebody can read it, I'll be very happy what the gentleman is reading here. If somebody can read this, I can't read it. That's what I said, that I don't understand this. Now, why this I have put the slide? Because many times what we give, not many times, sometimes what we give, people may not be comfortable with, may not understand it. पता नहीं यार मौसम विभाग क्या बोल रहा है, कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है, गिरेगा भी बोल रहा है और नहीं गिरेगा भी बोल रहा है. What is this? तो क्या करें? My point is, we are in process. We are trying to make the forecast as user friendly as possible, by which the general public will understand. Problem is, many times people tell me, sir, वो सब मत बोलो, आप बोलो बरसात गिरेगा क्या नहीं गिरेगा. It is not possible to say like that. We speak in terms of probability. We tell in categories. Heavy rainfall होने का chances कितना है? Moderate rainfall probability is how much? And so on and so forth. But my point is, we should reduce this gap of non-understanding certain things or terminology of the department and the users. That can be anybody. That can be you also, general public also. So what we say, we request, we expect that it will reach 100% to you, so that this slide will not appear again. Can we go to the next? So this is the list of observatories, as I said, because my department is almost 45 years old now. We started somewhere around 1875. And we have got certain observatories which are more older than that. Some of the observatories in the country are more than 200 years old, weather observatories. So we have got, the country's data almost for 150 to 300 years weather data India Meteorological Department is having for the entire country. And there are different types of observatories, departmental observatories. And there are some of them are non-departmental, and automatic weather stations, and then airports, and then AFMUs, agricultural meteorological field units. So many other, the list is slightly bigger. I have put only some of them. So this is how, these observatories need to be, functional around the clock 24 hours. Can we go to the next? Gombe साहब, ये सब slide जो है थोड़ा हिल गया लगता है when PDF was made. Anyway, so this indicates, I was trying to pick up that what is the network of surface observatory in different regions like Nagpur, ND, New Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Guwahati, and Mumbai. So we have got more than 550 surface observatory, almost 550 surface observatory in the entire country, which takes the round-the-clock observation of weather. Can we go to the next, please? There is something happened to this slide again, because the before slide was the slide with the observatory damaged, and the after one is the observatory with all the repel, because many times a weather like cyclone or super cyclone, or the day last week 2 days back Nisarga. So all such cyclones, when they pass from a particular station, they can have a devastating effect. You must have seen a lot of videos of Raigad and many places of Mumbai, Dombivli, Kalyan, Thane, and Pune, and many other places. So though it was not a very intense cyclone like Amphan in Bay of Bengal, but again, the winds make a lot of difference. So maintenance of observatory is very important. Can we go to the next, please? And then there are different types of observatories, as I told you, class 1, class 2, class 3, and so on and so forth. I'll not pay much attention. Can we go to the next? So the observatories, they take the surface observation. The forecasters also need to know what is happening in the upper air. हवा के ऊपर के स्तर में क्या हो रहा है? Almost we take the balloon every day twice. Balloon reaches to a height of around 30 to 32 kilometers. You can say in the pressure level, you can say around 15 to 5 hectopascal. And then we plot the temperature, humidity, and pressure profiles, wind speed, wind direction profiles. And then that data is put into the model for giving the forecast. We have this many, we have RSRW, that is radio sonde radio wind, that goes up to almost 5 millibar, 5 hectopascal. And then we have pilot balloon. It's a small balloon which is sent to upper air, and that is tracked visibly or by radiothodolite. And RSRW is tracked by radiothodolite or GPS. But this pilot balloon is used for only a small height of around 4 to 5 kilometers, whereas RSRW, the big balloon, is used almost up to more than 30 kilometers height. Can we go to the next, please? Yeah. So based on the balloon as it goes up, the products are generated. So we have got, these red dots indicate that, for this many points, we have got the upper air data. But let me tell you, this particular upper air data, what you see, the number of points so dense, they're all model based. They're not actual. Okay, the actual are around 36 or 38 all over the country. And when it goes up, whatever profile it generates, we call it as T5 gram. And so that is how, the upper air weather, upper air meteorological parameters are evaluated, by which we'll come to know that what is the moisture level, whether there is an instability in the air. Okay, then we calculate the instability index, and whether based on that, whether today evening, whether the thunderstorm will take place or not. So all those things can be calculated. Whether it will rain, that also we can see from this type of upper air balloon observations. Can we go to the next, please? And then we have the Doppler weather radar. So there's some confusion among people that Doppler radar, whether you give the forecast with the Doppler weather radar. Yes, we give the forecast with the Doppler weather radar. But then what is the range? With the Doppler weather radar, we all know, you're all engineering students, and so I'm sure you will know what is the Doppler principle. That when the source is moving, either away from you or coming close to you, then there is a change in the frequency, a shift in the frequency. Similarly, when the clouds are moving, and inside the cloud also there is a motion. So those motion generates the Doppler shift, and that is actually calculated. That is how we come to know that whether the cloud is moving towards you, whether cloud is moving away from you. What are the motions in the cloud? Inside the clouds also there are some motions, updraft and downdraft we call it as. So that is basically the Doppler radar is very useful. The range, the effective range is around 250 to 300 kilometer radius, and the surveillance is up to 500 kilometer. There are different types of radar which are basically used for the cyclone tracking, thunderstorms, and rain measurement, and many. So whatever you see on the coast, like Mumbai coast and East Coast, these are all cyclone tracking. They can see up to 500 kilometers. And as I was telling, that whether you can forecast with Doppler weather radar, yes, we call it as nowcast. So Doppler radars are used for nowcasting. So when we say nowcasting, it means the forecast validity is for next 3 to 4 hours. It means what? I'll say that, there is something going to happen in Nasik in next 4 hours. I can say that with my Doppler weather radar. It is impossible to give anything more than 4 to 6 hours by looking at the Doppler weather radar. Many times people, they get confused. Sir, radar से आप लोग 24 or 48 hours का forecast कैसे दे सकते हो? I tell that it is not possible. Radars cannot be used for giving such long forecast. We give forecast that is called as nowcast, maximum of 4 hours, and that is for severe weather. Whether it is going to be thunderstorm, whether there is going to be hailstorm in the Marathwada or in parts of other parts of region, dust storm, nowcast is used. Of course, for all the thunderstorm, hailstorm, dust storm, etc., there are models by which I can tell that whether it is going to have, whether there will be this event today or tomorrow in 24 hours or 48 hours. When it is going to happen in that 24 or 48 hours, I can tell you very specifically by using the Doppler radar network. So that's a basic, concept why the Doppler radars are very much necessary. Can we go to the next?
Hosalekar sir, I'll just take a few minutes and I'll share the PPT that you were requesting for. And all the participants, just give me 2 minutes. I'll just replace the share screen and share the PPT so that you all can view the actual PPT that sir has sent us.
Yeah, while sir is changing, yeah, I think get changed. Yeah. Is it? No.
I'll show you some slides that sir has missed, and I'll show you that slides so that you all can have an idea about what sir was actually trying to say.
Yeah, this one. That is okay. I mean, I have covered it in my talk. This is good. So this indicates that how the distribution of the observatories, surface observatories there on the conference, East Coast and the Central India and Northwest India also. Yeah. Just go to the, yeah. This is something very interesting. Yeah. So you can see how, a weather can damage how the winds can damage the observatory by passing of severe weather. And then, the same observatory after a few days, it has restored it. So maintenance of observatory, is a big challenge, and they are at remotest place in the country. And we have our people working there. And we go to the next. Yeah, I think we finished it here. Yeah, this one is so this indicates, what are the radar network, what we have in the west coast. So we have some Mumbai, one radar is there, Bhuj also is there, Goa is there. They're all, frequencies dependent, S-band radar, like 2 to 4 gigahertz. Okay, Bhuj is again S-band radar, Goa is S-band radar. Ratnagiri would be C-band radar. It's going to be installed in next couple of months. That is 4 to 8 gigahertz. And Ahmedabad also are going to put one C-band radar, and then Mumbai is going to get actually totally 6 number of Doppler weather radar by next monsoon. Because of the COVID, certain things could not work. Otherwise, we are planning to put few more radar. One radar is already there. 5 more Doppler weather radars are going to come in Mumbai. We go to the next, please. So, why do we have, so much of expenditure on observational network? As I told you, we have got certain buoys also. Buoys in the ocean buoys, which are there in both in Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. So what they do, they basically give you the in situ observation, that is the actual observation of ocean, and they were very useful. They are very useful, especially when you're tracking the cyclone. You get actual temperature, wind speed, wind direction, sea surface temperature of that particular place in the ocean. So I thought I'll just put up this slide. Dr. M. Rajivan is our Secretary, Ministry of Earth Science. So my department is Ministry of Earth Science, and Honorable Minister Dr. Harshvardhan is the Minister for Ministry of Earth Science. So under their guidance, my department works. We go to the next, please. And of course, we have got a huge satellite product, huge number of satellite products on our website. If you go, there may be around 400 to 600 products on satellite. So these also are being used because satellites, they cover oceans. We don't have much observations over ocean. We have got a lot of observations over land, but over the oceans, not only the entire world doesn't have many observations over the ocean. So these satellites, they help, for a round-the-clock observations in the different frequency bands. Can we go to the next? Can we go to the next, please? And this is another satellite product which is indicating CTBT. Means it is a cloud top temperature. So based upon the cloud top temperature, more negative, I know that the height of the cloud is very tall or very huge. And if I know that the cloud top temperature is -60 or -80, then I know that this particular cloud over Maharashtra or over Mumbai is going to give me a good amount of rainfall. So this is one indication that how the satellite pictures are used using the product called as the cloud top temperatures. So once we know that, then in that case we will come to know what is the approximate height of the cloud, because we have got certain algorithms. You all agree that as you go up in the atmosphere, the temperature falls. That is called as the lapse rate. So based on the lapse rate, I can calculate what can be the height of the cloud, and then I know that if -60, it means it's going to give very good rainfall for next 2 to 3 hours. So this helps me in giving the forecast. Can we go to the next, please? Again, this is another satellite product that is called as Rapid. So these products are available on the public domain. This can be used by our people. Can we go to the next, please? And then we have got, the automatic weather station and automatic rain gauges, but these numbers are very less. In fact, we are trying to upscale this number automatic weather station, because now, the department is planning to give not the district level forecast, but the block level forecast. When you are giving block level forecast, you need to have, high resolution data of that. And to do that, surface observatory, what I have shown you in the earlier slides, will not help me, because, you need to put the manpower and maintenance and so many other things are there. Automatic weather station will send me the data on GPRS or mobile or, satellite every hourly. So I'll get more data without using the much manpower involved in that, and then I can afford to scale it up as much as possible. We go to the next. So this is how the observatories are. Just I thought I'll put one slide here. The left hand slide, the left hand photographs are before, and the right hand side are afterwards. So this we generally do, painting and all. This cutting of the bushes and the small plants, etc., is being done every 3 to 6 months, and painting, etc., and repairing, all those things once in year, we tend to do. We want to do it more frequently, but sometimes, because of the certain other constraints, we are not able to do it. But when you do it, you can see how nice it looks. The right hand side, it is an automatic weather station which have been maintained. When we go to the next. And as I was talking about, the buoys which are there, the map here on the left hand side indicate what are the number of buoys, and the buoys are numbered. And the data comes to the main server. These buoys are maintained by NIOT, that is National Institute of Ocean Technology. So they maintain it, and the data comes to department's use. So that 24 hours, this data is available. The ocean data is available. Can we go to the next? And of course, this is our Agromet. Left and right hand side is the Agromet network, and right hand side, is the aviation network. So you'll find that any particular sector or any particular type of platform for observational network, you'll find that the presence of India Meteorological Department is over the entire country. That is pan-India coverage is there, right from Kanyakumari to Jain. Go to the next. This is a radiation station. Because again, radiation is very important parameter which goes into the numerical weather prediction models. So heat budget is something which the energy budget what is calculated is from this, and that is how though they are not very much thickly present, it is not required basically. These numbers are sufficient for the operational work. Can we go to the next, please? And then these are, the FMOs. FMO means, again, I told you that, we are good in putting the abbreviation. It's the flood met office. Okay, so the flood met office. So you'll find that, there is one flood met office in Ahmedabad, then another flood met office in Telangana. We don't have, flood met office in Maharashtra. Okay, but don't worry. For Maharashtra, the flood met office forecast is coming from the Telangana. And of course, state also has their own machinery. And then we have the high wind speed recorder on the east coast and west coast. We send every 1 second data is picked up and sent to the main server. That basically used during the cyclone, where they can measure the winds more than 220 to 30 kilometers per hour. So that's why they're called as high wind speed recorder. They're called digital, basically digital high wind speed recorder. Can we go to the next, please? This is a GNSS network, global navigation. This also measures, the temperature, pressure, humidity, and IPWV, that is integrated precipitable water vapor. But in a given column above my head, what is the water vapor in that column that I can measure? And based on that water vapor column, I can evaluate how much rainfall it can give me right now. And that is how, that also helps me to understand the water vapor measurement, which is very crucial for precipitation forecast. Can we go to the next? This is recent development. Last year we started in Mumbai that now Mumbai is getting almost 100 data from 120 plus places rainfall, and every 15 minutes the updates are available. So different color codes are used. This data is coming on the website also, and also on Android as well as the smartphone also. This app is available. Maybe I can, if somebody is interested in Mumbai and Thane and Navi Mumbai rainfall, you can download this app, Mumbai Weather Live is the app, and it gives you the data of almost 140 rain data, which is one of the best network probably we have in the entire country, and it's been very extensively used last year. This year also we are going to use the same one. Can we go to the next, please? And why we require, now somebody will say that, sir, wo aapne Mumbai mein yahan kyun nahi laga raha? Every different place will have a different objective, different requirements are there. So like a mega city like Mumbai, where the approximate population would be around maybe 1.2 crore or more, something like that. And its importance as far as the industrial and other things are there. So based on that, anything that happens in Mumbai has a global impact. Let it be airport, let it be infrastructure, let it be anything. So based on that, So this particular such systems are developed by the Ministry of Earth Science. Can we go to the next, please? And this is what I was talking about, in addition to that 140 rain gauge network, this year we have developed the flood forecast model system for Mumbai that can give you probably the inundation of water during monsoon, during severe rainfall. What could be the inundation at ward level? So lot of data is being taken from BMC, that is Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and also lot of data is collected on different sources and different institutes. IMD is one of the institute which is coordinator for this project in Mumbai. So this is going to be made operational in 2020 monsoon in Mumbai. That is what we are planning at it, and this will give you at least 3 days forecast. कौन से कौन सी जगह में मुंबई में पानी भर सकता है अगर बरसात बहुत ज्यादा हो जाए तो. Can we go to the next? Okay. Can we go to the next, please? Next. 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 So, okay. I think you can explain me, this. Probably I would require your help, your college help. That since now you have a fair idea about, what Indian Meteorological Department is doing for the country, and what are the instruments and what is the type of forecast they give. And now that, IoT, is becoming, a sort of thing which you cannot avoid, which you cannot keep it away. Maybe some certain things, certain utilities can be developed using the IoT enabled weather monitoring system. We can use the artificial intelligence. We can use the best IT system available. How we can generate the more better, accurate, timely forecast for farmers, for hydrology, for general public, for disaster management, for services, and many other sectors like fishermen and all that. Okay. Can we go to the next, please? Okay. This all that the automatic weather station on a moving van. Okay. Can we go to the next? So there are a lot of plans for the department, to, as I said, that we need to have a more better network. Okay. We need a more better network. We don't want any district in the country which remains unrepresented. So that is our first plan. And of course, we need to strengthen our coastal state as much as possible. We were planning to have more automatic weather stations, more automatic rain gauges. The problem with putting the AWS and ARG is it's very easy to put them, but it is very difficult to maintain that network for so many reasons. Can we go to the next? And these are some of the, maybe probably this could be last slide, I don't know. So while doing, yeah, because it's a Government of India office, so we received best RMC award, the Regional Meteorological Center Award, Western Region Office. Twice we received it. Then recently, in last 5 years, we received twice. Then now we have made some audio, video clips for All India Radio, Film Division. Film Division, they came to our office and they have made a documentary, and it is sent for some competition also. Okay, and then there are a lot of appreciations and many things what we do, small things has been recognized. Can we just go to the next slide, please? So since that slide came, so recently when the Nisarg cyclone was handled by my department, Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Maharashtra, he called personally over the phone me and congratulated for the best services given to the state. Timely, advanced warnings by which the state to prepare the disaster management, to prepare, they deploy NDRF and SDRF near the Raigad and all the coast. Evacuation could take place so that they could avoid. the life losses and to a good extent the property losses also. So there are some challenges. It's not very easy. Okay. So when the monsoon comes, there are a lot of challenges. If it comes little late, that's a challenge. If it doesn't rain for a very long time, it's a big challenge. If it rains very heavily, then that's a big challenge. And then while it is happening, in between suddenly you'll find that next 15 दिन में बरसात नहीं है. 20 days, 1 month, there is no rain or very little rain. It's called as monsoon break situation. Now that is very critical, especially for the farmers. If we are not able to identify it, or if we are not able to tell the farmer that this is going to happen, now the models are good enough to tell the farmer in case if such type of signals are visible. And obviously, early withdrawal, delayed withdrawal is also a big problem. I remember last year, monsoon, after September, it remained in October, it remained in Navratri, it remained, almost to November, it came, and then people were complaining, Sir, ye kab jayega bolke. So now that it went, last year, it is coming after almost 6 months again to back to country. Can we go to the next slide, please? This is what I was talking about, the break, monsoon break. So the statistics basically indicate that the break in monsoon are increasing. Break in monsoon are increasing, and the period is increasing. Rather, the period is increasing. Okay. So as far as the climate change is concerned, the experts are talking about climate change. They are saying that the severe weather episodes are going to increase. The frequency, the intensity, and their stay, their duration, all the 3 parameters are going to increase. Let it be a heat wave, let it be a cold wave, let it be the severe or extremely heavy rainfall, or let it be flood situation, the severity will increase. So during the climate change, the first thing is going to happen, the rainfall is going to increase. If the rainfall is going to increase, that it should be good. The problem is the rainfall will come in the heavy spells. Entire rainfall will come, not in 4 months, but it will cover up, in few days. That we don't want. That is harmful for the farmers also. So, this is one challenge which is going to make the forecaster job more and more difficult in the coming days of the time. But the models are getting developed, the network is getting established. So these are the challenges which we will face and we will mitigate also. Can we go to the next, please? Can we go to the next? And probably this could be my last slide. So there are some contact details for the weather updates. The control works for the entire year. It works 24 hours, 365 days. It's an operational office. So we've got 2 main websites. One is my office website, that is Mumbai website on the top. And then we have the Delhi website, my headquarter website. Maybe you can note down these URLs. And as you see every day, other website, I would request you that you can see this also, where we put a lot of products, and some of the products are getting updated every 15 minutes, like satellite picture and radar pictures are getting updated every 15 minutes. So this will give you the latest weather updates of your interest and of your region also. And of course, the text is also available in case you are not able to interpret the figures and the images. Text is also made available so that general public will understand. And then there are some contact numbers are also given. You can always contact my office in case you want to know some more weather information or more weather details, especially during the severe weather period. Otherwise, most of the things are available on my website. It should be this last one. Yes, go to the next. Yeah. So I wish all of you very good monsoon 2020, and I'm sure that as the prediction has been made, that the monsoon will be good, and many models, not only Indian models but the global models, are also telling the monsoon 2020 will be good for the entire country. I am sure that we all will have the one good monsoon year again, and last year also the monsoon was good. I'm sure 2020 also should be good for the farmers, good for the policymakers, good for the planners, and good for the country's economy also. Take care and be safe. Thank you. If there are any questions, or if there are anything which I can answer, please let me know.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
You're audible.
Yes,
Sundar sir.
yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You can
Yes.
proceed, sir.
Sir, there is one question from the participant.
Yeah.
Why now? Why not? This monsoon does not contribute as
Your voice is cutting, sir, so could not answer, could not hear properly. Am I audible?
Sir, I will ask the question. The
Yeah,
question
please.
is, it is from Viraj Singh. Why Northeast monsoon does not contribute as much as Southwest monsoon winds? This is the question was being asked. Again, I will repeat. Why
I
Northeast?
got it. Yeah, I got it. See, one thing, we should be thankful, to the entire setup. Who made this setup, I don't know. The country is blessed with, two monsoons. Probably, this is a unique feature that, you have got two monsoons. In spite of having two monsoons, we are having a lot of problems related to the water and so many. Maybe it requires a better planning, number one. The southwest monsoon, which is also known as the Indian summer monsoon, June to September, almost takes care of our 80% of the water requirement of the country. And the northeast monsoon takes almost 10 to 15% of the requirement of the country's water. You remember, we get lot of rains in Delhi, northern part of the country, by the system called as the Western disturbance. What winter crops are taken, jo gehu वगैरह होता है, wheat and all those things, they are there. Now this system, southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon, if you see why they are called as, basically why this name is given, the name is coming from their direction of the wind. So if you see the southwest monsoon, it comes from the ocean, the hemisphere. It goes to the Madagascar island, and then it starts turning from the equator to the right side. I'm sure some of your physics students must have learned about the Coriolis forces and all that. So something which comes starts in the equator in the northern goes northern side, it tends to move towards the right hand side. That is called as Coriolis forces. Opposite happens in the southern place. So we have got a cross equatorial flow which brings lot of moisture from the oceans, from the southern hemispheric ocean, and then it crosses the Arabian Ocean, and then it comes to the Arabian Sea as well as the Bay of Bengal, and that is how the winds are laden with huge amount of moisture. That is the reason that southwest monsoon gives lot of rain, number one. And the period is also big. Northeast monsoon is only for just 2 months, okay, November and December. And it comes only from the Bay of Bengal. Whereas the southwest monsoon comes from the entire ocean, you know, the southern South Indian Ocean, Hind Sagar se jo bolte hain na, Indian Ocean se, and the southern hemisphere, it comes and it comes up. So the moisture and the wind, everything, you know, is a different phenomena. So that's how, you know, this southwest monsoon contributes more than the northeast monsoon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your response. The next question comes from our principal, sir, Dr. G.V. Mulgund, sir. In how many days in advance cyclones are predicted, sir?
Well, I think, yeah, it all depends. It all depends, but generally I'll give you the latest example, the Nisarg cyclone. So it was formed on 3rd of June. It was one of the very rapid development and a very short scenario. But it was, you know, almost, the low pressure was formed on 31st of May, the Southeast Arabian Sea. You know, how the cyclone forms, you know, the stages are, you know, something called as low pressure forms. Low pressure gets intensified into low pressure gets to depression. Depression becomes deep depression. Deep depression then comes into the
YouTube
cyclone. Deep depression comes into the cyclone. Now, this particular first bulletin, which was issued on 31st May, there only we said that this cyclone is likely to form over Arabian Sea and it is going to come towards the Maharashtra coast. Now, if you see, only 4 days are there, but low pressure which is going to form in Arabian Sea, that was predicted on 21st April. So we were knowing that something is going to happen in near Kerala coast on 21 April only we were knowing, and that system is going to, you know, go further and get intensified. So my, you know, roughly I can say that, you know, we have developed a skill by which, you know, we can tell much in advance, like more than 10 days in advance, or sometimes more than 10 days in advance, we can tell that whether the cyclone is going to form or not. Now we are telling something about Bay of Bengal also. It is so far it is not formed, but we are seeing that also. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I have answered the query.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
As we are moving short of time, only one last question was being asked, sir. Is there any relation of longitude of place with magnitude of rainfall, from Dr. Ajay Kumar, sir?
You said what is the question?
Is there any relation of longitude of place with magnitude of rainfall?
Yeah, it is there. That's why, you know, see, place to place rainfall varies. Place to place rainfall varies. And it's not longitude, I would say. You have to add the topography also. For example, you know, you have the north-south Sahyadri range in Maharashtra. So the windward side, that is towards the Arabian coast, you know, the rainfall averages are, you know, 3,000 annual 3,000 millimeter rainfall is there in Konkan belt. Just cross little more longitude and go to the Marathwada and, you know, Madhya Maharashtra. The averages are, you know, just 600 to 700. But this is not because of the longitude. That I would add, you know, say that, you know, the more significant effect is, you know, because of the topography, because of the Sahyadri range. So longitude may not have much effect unless the topography, you know, is going to control the pattern of the rainfall. You get a lot of rainfall in Konkan. You don't get that, you know, in Marathwada, Vidarbha. Marathwada is hardly 600, 700 millimeter rainfall in the entire season. So that is how, you know, the topography plays a lot of important role. And then where you are located is also very important. Whether you are in East Vidarbha or West Vidarbha, If you are in East Vidarbha, then the Bay of Bengal will give you good rain. West Vidarbha doesn't get much rain by the Bay of Bengal system. So it depends upon where you are physically located. It counts a lot, and that's how the rainfall patterns are varied as far as the space and time is concerned.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. Really, we got a lot of information.
I have one small request. I would like, maybe some of your students can come to my office at Kolaba sometimes. You can plan a visit. Maybe Bonge sir has already visited my office at many times. But I'm sure, some of your students, engineering students also can visit. And once they visit, they see the setup. Maybe, their teachers and their mentors can get some idea that how they can do some small utility, development of some software, development of some small instruments, some observational techniques, networking, depending upon the scope and, the available resources. You can do data analysis. You can use the data mining. We can share the data. Met Department, and Ministry of Earth Science is very free to share the data with academic institutes, whereas we don't share the data with any of the private industries for certain policy matter. But for the students and for their academic interest, definitely, the department is ready to share the data, provided some project or some plan comes out. It may not be only data analysis. It can be some development of some small tool, in-house tool. Many have done it, and many colleges are doing associated with my office. They come and they visit, and then they go back. वो अपने college में बैठ के अपना काम करते हैं. They don't come to my office every day. Not required, because they have their own academy. And remotely nowadays it is possible to do many things. So I would request the college authorities that they can encourage, their students and the teachers also to have a visit, look at how the Doppler weather radar actually works, how it looks, okay, how a surface observation is taken, how a rainfall is measured, okay, and what are the different techniques in measurement of rainfall, temperature, how a earthquake, is measured, how the seismic shocks are measured, how the air quality is measured, how the weather forecast is generated. I'm sure, I think, I don't mind even if the principal of the college comes to my office. I'll be very happy to welcome you also, sir. Maybe a few, and we can have a joint visit also. I request all of you that, we will remain associated, and we'll be very happy to remain associated with the academic institutes. And we can develop few things jointly with your expertise and with our experience. That is what my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for providing an opportunity. Definitely we'll try to explore and we'll be getting associated with you.
So, thank you once again. Subhashini madam, thank you. My friend Dr. Ajay Kumar and Somsundar ji and Gopal Saab and of course Professor Gunge. I'm not able to see on the screen right now.
Yes, I am here, sir.
He's there. Yeah. So my best wishes to the college, and definitely at some time even I would like to come to your college one day,
Inviting you, sir.
Just to see. I'm very much interested in visiting the academic institute also. Maybe as the situation develops further for good, we will remain. We'll plan that visit. In the meantime, yeah, we can always have the interaction over the phone or over the email or over the VC like this. So thank you very much, and thanks once again for giving me this opportunity to speak to your students and the faculty members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. On behalf of Institute, special thanks to you, sir. Really, you have shown how your satellite collect the data and how IMD and make these analysis are the reason why. So also, you have given some challenges to us in the monsoon areas, and even the common question of the society, how don't understand this, please. So along with my researcher and my faculties and students, will work on this. Will accept your challenges and the question of the common peoples. Surely, will contribute. Will try to contribute with you, and let's have your valuable guidance. We'll work on it. So very thanks, sir. Really, you are given the information which is not available in the books and anywhere in our academic session. So that's why your information is very informative for us, sir. Very thanks, sir. And definitely, with our faculties, principal, we are interested to meet you. Definitely, we'll come to you and meet you. And again, we'll get some valuable data. Everything, sir. Thank you. Very thanks, sir.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful session and explaining the weather forecasting so beautifully to us, to all the participants. And this was a very informative session. So, and the many questions has been there. I will be putting up to you and we'll be getting the answers and we'll be posting on Telegram group, sir. Many of the students
you can mail me. You can mail me or something like that. Huh?
Sure.
Let me try. If I can answer them, I'll do my level best.
Sure.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request everyone.